Hi there, it's Tracy here from the Papercraft Studio. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to show you how to make my sweet gingerbread swing card. So I'm calling it a swing card because it has this little mechanism here that opens up and swings that little bit through there. So that's how it stands. That's how it would look when it's up, and that's how it looks when it's flat. Gorgeous sweet, this. It's not actually a sweet, it's just a stamp set and some dies, but page 20 of the mini catalogue. So you can see there's loads of elements in here, loads of stamps, lots of dies. I've used the dies for the door, the windows, the house, the trees, the roof, these little this little kind of lollipop here, and these little gummy drops, and the wreath. So lots of stamping and cutting here, so I've gone ahead and done some of that. But I'm going to show you how to score and make up this card. Okay, so the supplies you need are a piece of Sahara sand cardstock, and this measures 8 inches by 5 3/4 inches. A piece of basic white cardstock, which measures 5 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. You'll also need some Coastal Cabana cardstock. Just a scrap. You'll need some scraps of polished pink cardstock, Parakeet Party cardstock, and did I say polished pink? I think I did. Coastal Cabana polished pink. Basic white is the other one. And I'm just going to show you as well the vellum in this catalogue that I've used, if I can find it quickly. It's at the edge of one of these. Let's see if I can see it at the back. Snowflake vellum, page 40. Okay, sorry, I should have had this marked up. But it's this vellum selection here, and I've used the vellum snowflakes. Yes, I've also used the 2 largest dies from the circle dies from the Stylish Shapes dies to help me create this. So let's go ahead and show you what to do. So I'm going to bring in my Simply Scored scoring tool, and on the long side here you're going to score in the center at 4 inches. So that's that bit done. And while I've got it out here, on your piece of basic white, you need to find the 5 1/4 inch. Obviously they're going to look quite similar, 5 1/4, but this is quite important to have that slightly smaller edge at the top. And you're going to score at 1 3/4 and at 3 1/2. Okay, so that's all the scoring done. So in order to get this circular piece here, let's bring our cardstock back in. I'm just going to fold that over, burnish. And then I've taken the largest circle die here, and I'm just going to cut through one layer. So I'm going to open that out, kind of center it sides and top there. I'm just going to pop a bit of washi tape on to hold it in place. And of course you could use a post-it note or something. So you can see there, I've got it kind of equal borders here, here and here-ish. Doesn't matter if it's not spot on. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. Okay, so let's got a little bit of the washi tape there. So gently pull the washi tape off. So you've left with that really lovely little circular shape, and then we want to keep this piece because we're going to use that as well. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this little mechanism now in the middle here. So that's how the card stands. And I've also stamped a little From Our Home to Yours in here. There are other sentiments you could choose from the stamp set, or of course add your own. So there's a Sending Love, but I really liked that one, so I'm going to use that one again. So you're going to have, so you've got the 3 panels here. The one on the right is going to stay flat. You're going to fold this one this way. So just give it a little burnish with your bone folder. Basically, you're just folding them in opposite directions. It doesn't really matter. It's just going to fold back on itself. Okay, so you want that kind of Valley. It doesn't matter which way, because if you think you've cut it the wrong way, you just turn it round. Obviously that would be wrong, so you flip it around this way and then that becomes right. So essentially what you want to do is have this cut edge facing towards the right, flat here, and then it goes up, and then this flat edge here facing towards the left. Okay, so it folds up, you've got a cut edge on top on the left and a cut edge at the bottom on the right. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment before I go any further, because if at this stage you don't stamp particularly well, then you know we can go again. So let's hope I can stamp this. Okay, I had it upside down. That's not the best start, is it? So I'm going to stamp on this one that we're going to put at the bottom. See how that's inking up. Hopefully it's okay. Perfect. So that was in Cabana ink. And then I'm going to put some glue on the back of that piece. So the section that we've just stamped on, pop some glue on, and it's going to fold up, and there's going to be a small border around each edge here. Okay, so pretty much even border around there. So I'm going to put glue on the back of this section that I've stamped. Try not to go too near the edge. I want it close enough to fix it in place. And you can either do this with it folded up, or you can open it back out. Just slide it into place there, and just move it out slightly at the bottom. That's it, pin that down. Okay, so that's how your mechanism is going to work, like that. So have it folded up, fold the card closed, and you'll see then this will just drop back in perfectly in there. So what you're going to do is put some glue on this section here, just on the white section that's showing through from the front. So again, I'm not going to go too close to the edges, but just enough glue, and then just drop this circle back in from where it came, and just press down on that piece there. Just make sure it's really stuck well, and that creates then your little kind of frame to hold the card in place like that. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've cut with the second largest circular they're called stylish shapes in Cabana, and this cute snowflake vellum. Sorry, I'm really shadowy. I haven't got my light set up particularly well yet. So these are going to layer on top of each other and then sit in there. And because the house is going in the middle, it's fine to put some glue down the middle of the vellum here, because that's not going to show. And then around the edges, I just chose some of the bigger snowflakes just to dot some glue on, so that it didn't really show through. But you know, there's snowflakes. It won't matter too much if you see an odd bit of glue coming through. It will just look like another one. Okay. So these are the same size, so they'll just sit on top of each other like that. I just wanted I wanted to use this vellum, but I also just wanted to mute the colour a little bit to look a bit more like sky. Okay, so that can then be attached. I'm going to put it this way because I've got my kind of splodge of glue going that way, so I'm going to have the house covering that. So this is all just stuck down with glue. There's nothing propped up at the moment on dimensionals. So centre that. That looks about right. Okay, and then with our little house, I'm using something that I don't use very often actually. It's our white kind of craft ink, I guess. So I've gone ahead and inked it. It comes with a re-inker because it does dry out in between. I've just thrown my stamp around. So in the stamp set, you get a little image here to do the outline of the doors and the windows, and also this little fancy bit here, and it looks great embossed too, but I'm just going to use the white craft ink for now, and it comes out quite pale. But you're just going to line up the bottom of these two little, of the base of the door with the bottom of the house pretty much. I'm just going to pull it towards me because I can't see where I'm going otherwise. So that's where I've stamped. So you see it's really pale, And if you heat embossed it instead, that would be much brighter. But just for the class situation, I just wanted to use the ink. And then again, I'm going to use this cute little pattern. Oh, first, actually, before we do that, we're going to attach the roof so then you can see where you're going. So I've gone ahead and cut the roof out in basic white. And I'm just going to dot some glue on the second panel in on each side and also on this top bit. The reason I'm not doing these edges is they overlap, and also it gives you something to hold on to. So position that with the top of the roof here, and I've cut this house in a crumb cake just to contrast a little bit with Sahara sand. So there's a die to cut the house. So there's the roof on. Just going to re-ink this a little bit here, and I'm going to line that up roughly with the point of the roof and stamp down there. I've got an extra little bit of snow, I'm not too worried there. Okay, so now we have the roof on, and I've gone ahead and stamped and cut these little elements because we would have been here all day long watching me do this. So the great thing about the windows here is they're on one die, so they stamp together. And then so I've stamped the windows in Coastal Cabana. I've stamped the door and the lollipop in polished pink. I've cut 3 little gummy drops in polished pink. I can't find the other one for a second. I've stamped one of the trees here in Granny Apple Green and one in Parakeet Party, and I've stamped the wreath in Parakeet Party as well. So there was quite a lot of stamping to do, but I didn't want to do it all on camera because, you know, that's not too entertaining for you. And I've gone ahead and cut those out. I will find my other gummy drops somewhere. But yeah, those are the colours that I've done that in. So I'm just going to put those aside for a second, although let's pop the wreath on. And the wreath, because I've stamped it all in Parakeet Party, just bringing in my Sweet Sorbet stamping right marker, and I'm using the fine end just to colour in those berries, because currently they're green and I want them to be red. There we go. And you could dot some little bits around the wreath as well if you want to at that stage. Okay, so flip this over. I'm going to pop this on with some liquid glue. Again, just try not to get too much on there. And then pop that just underneath that little pattern on the roof there. Slide mine down a little bit. There we go. So it's really faint, that little inking on there, but it looks quite cute. Okay, so I'll also attach the door and the windows. So flip these over. Try not to get too gluey. And you can stamp straight onto, you know, different colour. There's an outline stamp for the house. Sorry, that was what I was trying to say. So you could stamp in crumb cake onto white cardstock, and it leaves, you know, space here for the windows and doors. So, you know, you don't have to die cut it all, but there are options of how to do this. I'm going to pop, so I'm just putting these inside the outline that we've just stamped. Just take your time doing this. Whoa, otherwise you'll get gluey like I just did. So it's a little bit fiddly, this card, but I really think it's worth it. I was so happy with how it came out, but yeah, you need to spend a bit of time on here. Okay, so I'm not sure if I mentioned this piece here, but this is for the snowdrift. This measures 4 inches, or yeah, 4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. And I just want to show you how I cut the drift. So this is the die here. So I just moved it around to see where I wanted it. I didn't want it just to be whoop, whoop. So I wanted a bit of a differentiation between the drifts there. So I've kind of lined it up at the top on this side, put a bit of washi there, and then had it going down sort of further on this side. So pinned that there. So that's roughly how I cut this little snowdrift here. So I'm going to pop that through the cutting machine. Here we are. So that's what you're left with there. Now, before I attach it to the card, I've also cut a strip. So I didn't tell you half of this at the beginning, did I? I'll try and remember next time. But this is Parakeet Party, and it's 4 inches by 1/2 inch. And you can see what I've done here. I've just attached it under this layer. Some of my ladies in class preferred to have it behind the fence here. But I wanted, because this is all snowy, I didn't really want green grass in the middle of the snow. So that's why I did this. So I've put it as a little attachment just for a little pop of colour at the bottom. So I've just left a tiny little slither like that. So pop some glue on here, not right the way down to the bottom. And attach your snowdrift. Just gonna pick mine up to get it straight. There we go. And then flip this over, and I'm going to attach this with some dimensionals. Oops. Just scatter them on here. Really, you're just looking to even out the kind of, you know, so it doesn't dip in some places. Okay, that should be fine. Take these off. Yeah, so you need to find someone special to give this card to, like, you know, one of your children, or, you know, your parents or grandchildren, a really good friend, because it does take a bit of effort to make. You need to give it to someone who really appreciates that. Okay, so let's go ahead and stick the house on here, and it will just fit in this circle. So you need to make sure you get it so that it's not catching anywhere, because it won't come through the hole otherwise. So I've just also stuck that down with glue. Such a cute set. Again, I wasn't going to buy it, but you know how it goes. You see projects and then it's kind of, oh, now I want it as well. So I'm just going to move that over slightly to keep that in place. With the fence, I've added adhesive sheets to the back to make it easier, because I'm sure you can appreciate it's going to be hard to get some little dots of glue behind there. And just make sure all these little bits are popped out. When I was doing these bottom bits, if you just kind of run your finger along, it does tend to pull some of those out anyway. So I'm just going to trim mine a little bit here, because I left it a little bit longer. Just going to cut those little bits off the end. So yeah, I just ran it through and cut it with the adhesive sheet on there to make it easier. So at this stage, you can have a little practice before you put it on to see where you want all your little pieces to be. I stuck one of the trees down flat, and then the other one I stuck flat onto here, but popped a mini dimensional under it, under the top bit here to stick down. So actually I'm going to do those first. So I'll show you how I did this. Just some glue on this one. Pop that one quite high up there. And you know, with this, you know, we're in fairy tale land, so it doesn't matter if it's, you know, slightly skew-if. And then I popped a mini dimensional, if I can spot one here. That's another, you know, when I want large ones, I can never find them, and I've just literally picked up another large. So under the top of the tree, I'm going to pop a mini dimensional on this one. But, you know, you could stick them down flat, you could put one over here, wherever you want it to be. And then I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue down on the trunk, because I'm going to attach that to the raised piece here. So they'll end up, because you've got the dimensional at the top, they'll end up being kind of level there, and that will just stick down to the bottom. Cute. The little lollipop, I just popped at an angle here, and I've left it so that I can get some glue under this piece too. So just at the bottom of the actual bit that you would lick, and then a little bit down the handle. And yeah, just kind of did it at a bit of a quirky angle there. Maybe up a bit there. With the gummy drops, I popped a couple behind here, just dropped them in, and then I put one stuck on here. So let's see if I can find my other one. Where did it go? Is it here? Okay, it's crazy how things disappear on this desk. Okay, I'm just going to put 2 in for now, but if you have it in a kit, you have 3. So let's just pop some glue on the back. Oh, I was trying so hard not to do that. Okay, so I'm just dropping them down slightly behind this hill. I didn't really know what to do with them, and of course if you don't want them on there, just leave them off. So I'm going to leave a space for my other one there, but if it materializes, I'll put it back up. Okay, so now we can pop the fence on. So I wanted it so that it came up high enough to you know, show on that piece of Sahara sand a little bit, but mainly it would just be on this white drift here. So I've moved one of my little pieces here. Let's bring that back out. So a little bit fiddly here, but on the bottom corner here, you just need to try and find that backing. You can see it start to peel away, and then just pull that off, and it's much easier than trying to dot bits of glue. So I'm going to have this about, come up a little bit there. Oops, not quite to the edge. About there. So cute. Yeah, so that's another little die, obviously, in the set. Okay, where are we up to? We're nearly there, I think. So I've used my kind of favourite Christmas embellishments. These are the Festive Pearls. So I'm going to scatter some of these kind of little matte silvery green ones on here. Just a few. You could use rhinestones, whatever you've got, or it just looks cute without anyway. And optional again, but if you wanted to, you could add a bit of wink of Stella to the roof of the house here, also to the trees, just to give them a little sparkle, to the little snowdrift here. And there you have it, my sweet gingerbread swing card. I really hope you've enjoyed making that. Take care, see you soon, bye.